Hey, Kuchina here again, and today I'm going to give you your tip of the week. And it's all about setting realistic goals. Now, we all know that when it comes to weight loss and fitness, it's important to have goals. That's established. In fact, there are several systems out there, from the SMART system, SMART, to my personal NAPP system that you could use to set goals. Yeah, and I personally use my NAP system along with the SMART system to set goals for my clients. So it's established. You need to set goals as far as your fitness and weight loss is concerned. I think where most people miss the mark is when the goal is unrealistic. For instance, a person who is 90 kg, yeah, and sets a goal to lose 20 kg of fat in 1 week or even 1 month is simply setting themselves up for disappointment because that is unrealistic. Let's take another example away from fitness. Now, everybody's talking about the World Cup, yeah, and everybody's talking about our beloved Super Eagles. I personally, in my opinion, I think it's unrealistic to expect the Super Eagles to go all the way and win the World Cup. Now, I know that I might get in trouble for saying this, but stay with me. Now, I also think it's overreaching. Matter of fact, I think it's overreaching to set a goal for our team to go and win the World Cup. And I'll explain why. You see, now, is it possible? Yes. Is it going to happen? Very unlikely. You know, is it unrealistic? Yes. And I say this for four different reasons. Now, when you set goals and you want these goals to be realistic as we've established, it's important that you consider four factors, which I'm going to talk about, all right? You have to consider what your current status is. You have to consider, I'll explain all of these. Number one, your current status. Number two, you have to consider what is even possible. Number three, you have to consider your preparation. Number four, you have to consider what you are able to, willing to, and ready to do. So all of these four factors will factor in, no pun intended, in determining if your goal is realistic or not and help you set a goal that makes more sense. Okay, let's talk about every one of these four factors you want to consider when determining if your goal is realistic or not. And again, I'm going to draw a line between the Super Eagles soccer and your fitness and weight loss goals. Okay, so number one, you want to consider if the goal is even possible in the first place. Now, to make this simple and just straightforward, is it possible for you to lose X amount of weight in X amount of time? If the answer is no, then why bother? Because if you know it's impossible in the first place, it's unrealistic, and you go ahead and set that goal, then you're simply setting yourself up for frustration, depression, and disappointment. But if you don't know, then you can go ahead and look at the other three factors which I'll show you in a bit. For football, for our Super Eagles, is it possible for them to go all the way out and win the World Cup? Is it possible? Yes, it is. However, it's beyond that. And that brings us to factor number two. What is your current status? All right. Again, it's going to be difficult. Smaller people have a harder time losing weight compared to heavier people. For instance, a person with 60 kg is almost unrealistic. In fact, it's unrealistic for a 60 kg woman to drop 15 kg of weight in 1 month compared to a person, for instance, who is 150 kg. Again, because heavier people it's easier for heavier people to lose weight compared to smaller people. So if your current status, for instance, is that you are smaller, then you're going to have a harder time losing weight compared to bigger people. Therefore, you factor that in when you set your goals and make it realistic. Some other things to consider again when you talk about current status is some people have some hormonal issues that makes weight loss even harder. If that is your case, then you can't go out and set these outrageous, overly ambitious goals because again, it will be unrealistic because your current status says you have that and that and that hormonal issues. All right. Crossing over to soccer and your Super Eagles, what is our current status? All right, compared to the other teams, and what is for our players? What is their fitness level collectively? What is their skill? The team collectively skill level. What is our technique level? How good are we tactically? What is our grit level compared to the other team? So you need to factor in your current status when you set these goals and you want to be sure that they are realistic. Make sense? All right, number three. Our number three factor is preparation. What is your preparation up until this point? If you're trying to lose weight, and especially if you're trying to keep the weight off, you're going to need to learn and master certain habits. All right, you're going to need to learn to eat well, eat mindfully, You're going to need to learn to choose healthier foods over not so healthy foods 90% of the time. You're going to need to learn and master getting the habit of exercising several times, of working out several times a week. Have you prepared? Have you learned and mastered those habits? Crossing over to the Super Eagles, what has been our preparation over the years leading up until this point? Are we prepared enough to even have a chance of winning the World Cup? Are you prepared enough to have a chance of reaching the goal you've set for yourself as far as your fitness and weight loss is concerned? Consider that factor. It's very, very important. All right, let's move on to number 4. Factor number 4, when you set your goals, what are you willing to, able to, and ready to do to reach your goals? All right, now there's always a trade-off when it comes to reaching your goals. You have to be willing to give something in exchange for your goals, or in exchange for the plan for your goals. For instance, if you're trying to lose weight, you have to be willing to, able to, and ready to trade 30 minutes of your day, maybe 30 minutes of sleep in the morning, or 30 minutes of television, so that you can get in a good workout, or so that you can take that time to prep healthy meals for a few days. Yeah. Crossing over to the Super Eagles, are they able to, willing to, and ready to trade off, for instance, some of that time doing shaku on social media, some of that time taking the 1 million pictures on social media? Are they able to trade that so that they're able to focus on the game and give it all on the pitch? So that's the question for them. And this, again, I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but it's fine. I hope I'm making sense. So 4 factors to consider. Number 1, when you set goals and trying to make sure that the goals are realistic. And I'll talk about why you need to set realistic goals to sum up this video here. Number 1, you want to consider if the goal is even possible in the first place. Number 2, you want to consider your current status. Number 3, you want to consider your preparation. Number 4, you want to consider what you're able to, willing to, and ready to do. Number 4 is really important. If you are not able to, not ready to, or willing to do what it takes to reach that goal, then consider adjusting your goal. Now, you might set out thinking that you're able to, willing to, and ready to do certain things. But once you start out, you now realize that, okay, this is not for me. Again, adjust your goals. There's always a trade-off between what you need to do and your goals. Be willing to pay the price if you want to reach your goals. Okay, so the video has gone on a little longer than expected. So to sum up, it's important that you set goals. We've established that. It's also even more important that your goals are realistic for you, because what's realistic for one person may not be realistic for the another person. So plug in those 4 factors when you do that. When it comes to fitness and weight loss, and I've seen this a million times, a person sets a goal but it's unrealistic, and they can't reach the goal, therefore they get frustrated, and then they abandon the project to lose weight and get fit in the first place, and then we're going round and round. We don't want that to continue to happen, hence this video. So number 1, set goals and make sure they're realistic for you. All right, feel free to adjust your goals if you need to. I hope that was helpful. Go ahead and have a wonderful week.